Hey, good morning. Good morning, guys. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. I'm not going to be on here for too long, but I wanted to do a quick little conversation about finances and something that I was thinking about. I'd read something on it and it spurred a lot of thoughts, so I thought I would share it real quick. It basically came from a guy named David Bach. David Bach is a multimillionaire. He's a self-made millionaire. It's important to know the distinction between someone being an inherited millionaire versus a self-made millionaire. Self-made millionaires can give you good financial advice because they started off where you are, or maybe where you used to be, and they're now millionaires. So I want to share this advice for anybody that wants to do better, that wants to elevate their condition. I see somebody says they were on my website. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support, and I'm glad you're part of what we're doing here. Okay, so here's what I wanted to share with you. Kiki J, good morning. Basically, one of the things they asked David Bach wrote this book called The Automatic Millionaire. And The Automatic Millionaire was a great concept because what it does is it shows how many people there are who become millionaires in a very automatic way. Most people that become millionaires don't become millionaires overnight. They don't become millionaires because they won the lottery. They don't become millionaires because they got a record deal. They don't become millionaires because they signed with the NFL. They don't become millionaires because they married the right person. Most people that become millionaires, they become millionaires through an automated process. They don't get rich quickly. They get rich slowly. And so in this book, The Automatic Millionaire, David Bach talks about that process, but also what David Bach talked about was during an interview, they were asking him about millennials and just young people, period. But really, this advice applies to everybody, not just millennials. This applies to everybody. And they basically said, what's the biggest financial mistake you've seen occur amongst young people? And he said, oh, it's very easy. He said, the biggest financial mistake that I see amongst young people is renting versus trying to own a house. That basically when you when you only choose to rent, what effectively you're kind of doing is you're really throwing away a lot of wealth. I mean, a ton of wealth. There's actually a study that shows, I don't know if you guys know this, but the average times more wealth than the average renter. Did you know that? That the average homeowner has 38 times more wealth than the average renter. Now, my philosophy on this has been pretty basic, where I've cited studies that basically show that when they analyze the difference between poor people and middle class people, they find that the number one factor in the difference in wealth between poor and middle class is home ownership, the decision to try to own a home or whatever. And the number one reason for the gap between middle class and rich is stock market participation. Rich people put money in the stock market. Like, for example, this morning I woke up and I saw that my stock portfolio has shot up, by a ton. And I was like, what happened? And I found out that General Electric went up 14%, and I'd invested heavily in GE. Among many, I probably have stock in 300-400 companies or something, because I spread my money out. But the thing is that if you're not an investor, you don't get a chance to participate in that. So it's almost like if you think about building wealth, like going down a road, you think about it like traveling down a road. Some people, maybe are standing still. Some people are walking, but then you got some people that have moving sidewalks. Some people are riding in a car, and that car goes a lot faster than your feet. So basically, when you're trying to build wealth just by working without investing, without owning a home or any of that, it's almost like trying to travel down that road on your feet. And if someone else has a car, then they're going to go further than you. They're going to go a lot faster than you. And so the reason these conversations are very important for Black people is because a lot of the stuff that you get in terms of financial conversation, it's a lie. They lie to you. They lie to you on a regular basis. And then the biggest lie that you get is that if you start off poor or working class, that there's nothing you could do to change that. I literally read an article that infuriated me, where they basically said that it's a waste of time to give financial advice to poor people. And I said, what? And they said, well, because poor people, they have a mental illness called poor people's brain. And poor people's brain means that because they're so focused on surviving from day to day, they can't think long term. And also they don't have any resources to invest long term. You tell them to invest, but they can't invest. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense, because a person can invest in the stock market for $5 now. They have apps where you can invest for $5. And I know a lot of poor people who can come up with $5 if they have to. I know a lot of poor people who wear Jordans, who wear shoes that I can't afford. It's not that I can't afford to buy them. I'm sure. I mean, I could buy Jordans all day, I guess, but I'm not thinking about buying expensive shoes. It doesn't mean I hate Jordans. It just means that that's not my top priority typically when it comes to money. So I think that, that one of the things that tends to happen is that we underestimate the impact of the poverty mentality. We act like that's not a thing, and we think that because we talk about the poverty mentality, that means we're denying the fact that there are structural factors that play a role in poverty. There are lots of structural factors. We know these structural factors, and so my argument is that it makes sense to study these factors so that you can learn how to get around these factors. An obstacle isn't something that moves and blocks you everywhere you move. Like if you're trying to go around a mountain, it's not like if you go a mile to the east, the mountain's going to move and block you. And if you go a mile to the west, the mountain's going to move and block you again. Or if you try to fly over it, the mountain's going to rise up and block you. No, the mountain's going to sit still. And if you just stand still too, then you're not going to be able to go around it. But if you're thinking, okay, well, if I go around this thing, then I can get to the other side, then you're going to be better off than people who just sit there and say, well, of course I can't go forward. There's this mountain here. There's this obstacle stopping me. So how can I ever do better for my life? And I think it's very, very sad, because, I know that America is not a good country in some ways. I mean, I know that there's a lot of racism and stuff, but I've never seen, there's no law. There are millions of Black people out here right now every day that are out buying houses. They're saving they're pulling their little nickels together, and they've made home ownership a top priority. My friend Estia Brown told me a story about how she wanted to own a house. So she said, I'm going to do my hair at home and save the money I would have given to the hair salon, and I'm going to put that toward a down payment on my house. I have to be a homeowner. It's about priorities. You see, like I knew a young lady I used to mentor, and she would tell me how she was too broke to invest and she couldn't get ahead and everything else. And I said, yeah, but I've noticed that when things are a priority for you, you find a way to get it. I said, when it's a priority for you to have the new iPhone, you always find a way to get a new iPhone. When it was a priority for you to have a Gucci bag, I saw how hard you worked to get that Gucci bag. So basically, you're a person who manifests the things that matter to you, and the things that don't matter to you, you say, oh, I'm too poor, or oh, I'm too Black, or oh, I'm too ignorant, or oh, I'm too weak, or oh, I'm too whatever. But when it comes to something that you really want, you find a way to make it happen. You find a way to get it in. And let me look at a couple of your, okay, I see somebody says snaps. That's funny. Dr. Boyce, I have a few questions if you could answer them for me. Shabazz, I'm gonna tell you, the worst question to ask me is to say, can I ask you a question? Because then I won't see your actual question, because I'll answer your question. So you'll say, can I ask you a question? And I'll go, sure. And then I won't see your question ever again, because you should just ask the question. That's how you do it. Just ask the question. You are so real smart. I wish you was my man. Oh, wow. She's up here flirting before breakfast. What the hell? No, being here flirting before breakfast. All right. So basically, if you want to know one of the biggest mistakes that young people make, but this is really applicable for any generation, it's not trying to understand homeownership, not committing to it. If you look at wealth levels between homeowners and non-homeowners, there's a huge gap. And I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference. Like when you have a house and you're consistently paying rent every month, just like everybody else, then what happens is your money stacks up, your wealth stacks up on autopilot. And so what happens then is that you then have $100,000 in additional money that you can access, and everybody else is struggling to come up with $1,500 in an emergency. Well, it's hard to come up with that money if you are giving everything away through rent. Now, home ownership, though, isn't something that you always have to do. I'm just a believer in owning something, right? So for me, my home, I didn't really care so much about home ownership. I cared more about owning a business and owning stocks and things like that. That was where most of my ownership went. And now, I have some equity in the house, but for the most part, and it does help. It helps a lot. But for the most part, I work to build most of my wealth through business ownership and stock ownership. But the key idea is that you have to have something that you're spending your money on a regular basis that is allowing and helping your money to grow. You need something that is like a little trickle of money that's constantly going towards something that's going to benefit your future. You can still live in the present, still do what everybody else is doing, still go to eat fast food if that's what you like, you can still go to Beyonce concerts, you can still go to the hair salon, you can still go to the football games, you can still buy Gucci shoes if that's what you want to get. Have a little bit of a trickle that's going toward your future. That's the key. That's why people go broke, I think, is because they don't have that trickle that's got their back in case they run into a financial disaster. So don't make that mistake. That's important. How do you find a niche to build a business in? That's a longer conversation. If you want to, we have an entrepreneurship program in the Black Business School. If you want to go check it out, feel free to go to blackmoney103.com. That's blackmoney103.com. We have a business startup specialist and an attorney, Nicole Compton, that comes in every single week and is constantly talking about what forms to fill out, how to pick your niche, how to get started, all this stuff. Everything you want to know about starting a business, we show you in the Black Business School. Also, right now, my stock market investing class, you can actually get a huge discount on the program if you want to join now. It's theblackstockmarketprogram.com, THE, theblackstockmarketprogram.com. So feel free to go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com. Please hit that like button. If you're on social media, please hit the like button. How may I contact you? You can email manager@boycewatkins.com. Just know that she doesn't read most of the emails if they're too long. So just make sure that whatever you want to say, whatever business you want, that you make it pretty quick and pretty brief so that she can get through the email. What do you think about Spike Lee, his speech at the Oscars last night? I think that Spike, I don't care if Spike wins an Oscar or not. I think Spike was a great filmmaker before they told him that he was a good filmmaker. I don't think, I think that we need to get beyond the point where we need white folks to tell us that we're good at something. The Oscars are racist. Hollywood is racist. So why do you wait for a racist to tell you that you're a good Black person? That's it. That's not smart. Like, why would you wait for a racist? Why are you waiting for a racist institution to tell you that you're a qualified Negro? That's your mental illness. That's not their problem. That's your mental illness. That's your issue, right? So that's my 2 cents on Spike Lee. I think it's great. I think it's good that Spike told white people about themselves and all that. But again, I told you, I could care less if he wins an Oscar. I've read the history about Oscars. I read How the Jews Invented Hollywood, which is a very good book written by a Jewish man, so it's not anti-Semitic. The book was a great blueprint on how to build an entertainment empire. And I think that anybody who wants to understand business, the business of entertainment, should read books like that so you can know how to build your own. The thing about the Oscars is that the Oscars were created out of thin air. They were just something that they just made up so that they could give awards to the actors so that the actors wouldn't ask for more money. So it was built to be a distraction. It was artificial. It was something that was designed to have artificial value. It doesn't have real value. Oscars really don't mean much anything. Now, do me a favor, if you're on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up button. Please take a second, hit that thumbs up button. Let me see here. Ask Alexa to play African-American trivia, support Black-owned developers. Okay, interesting. Good. Okay, I'll do that, sure. I own 2 homes in California, but the new tax house penalizes homeowners in high-cost states with multiple homes. Second home is exempt from mortgage deduction. Yeah, I think even with the tax challenges, I just think home ownership is usually just a winning play in general. I'm not saying that it's always perfect. You got to make sure you do your homework and research and everything, but home ownership, think about this. Think about it. If you're not investing your money, what are you going to do with it? What do you do with it? Some people save it, but a lot of people don't save it. They just spend it. So if you spend your money, you're guaranteed to lose everything. At least if you invest your money, you have a chance on your money growing. And the thing about real estate is it doesn't matter. Even if the real estate market crashes, it is always recovered. So if you buy some property and the value drops for whatever reason, it's going to go up. If you hold that property for 20 years, it's very hard to lose money. My girlfriend wants to rent near her job. How do I get her to buy for long term? I wouldn't try to talk her into anything. I would just maybe give her your point of view. Maybe let her watch this video, and then some people aren't ready to buy right away, so it's okay. It doesn't mean they're stupid or anything. You just might want to talk to them about it. And basically, when you're renting, you're buying your landlord a house, right? So it doesn't make sense that people that rent will say that I can't afford to buy a house. Because when you rent long enough, you actually buy your landlord a house. If you pay rent of say $1,500 a month, growing by the rate of inflation over, say, a 25, 30-year period, you've literally bought your landlord $1 million house. If he takes that money and he invests that money into, some other asset, he can actually grow that into $1 million. Girl, stop flirting with him. We're trying to learn something. I don't even think that she probably ain't even real. She's probably she's that's probably a bot. She's a bot. It's probably some old fat white dude trying to cause problems. Y'all know I'm a mediocre looking black man. I do not believe in all that flirting. I think it's fake. Anyway, let me see here. Are more Hidden Colors movies coming soon? You have to ask Tariq. I assume that there is. I assume he has more stuff coming out. He's doing well with those movies, and I think it's great. I think the Hidden Colors series is one of the great accomplishments in the Black community. A lot of respect for what he's done with Hidden Colors. Hello, Lifestyle. How are you? Good morning. Mediocre, but let me see here. Well, I'm not in this for the sexy points. I'm in this, for the knowledge points. So whatever gets you through the morning, I'm cool with that. You mad because nobody flirt with you or no? Am I mad? No, that doesn't make me mad. I don't need anybody. I'm gonna tell y'all, we live in the Me Too era, so flirting is not a blessing all the time. Sometimes it's a curse. So just understand that. Yeah, because I've had, when I was single, I had women approach me, and I was very selective. And every now and then I date a woman. And I had one woman that caused me a lot of headaches, and it made me wish I'd never met that girl. When you meet somebody with issues, you got to be really careful. So you have to evaluate people before you let them in your life. And then if you see warning signs, you got to evacuate the building. So I think in that situation, I remember thinking, I got to get away from this person because ain't nothing scarier than a crazy person who has some emotional void that you can't help fulfill. It's kind of crazy. Let me see here. I have to do Black Money 101 before 102 because I'm 21. I don't know anything. Yeah, start with blackmoney101.com. Blackmoney101.com is the first class in the Black Money sequence. That'll get you started. That's an introduction to the power of money. So if you go through all of that and get your certificate in that, you'll be very, very good. You'll be well prepared. Like literally, there's no way you could hear all these lectures that I put together and go through all the PowerPoints and not walk away with a financial literacy level that exceeds, a lot of MBA students. I know this stuff really well. I've been eating and breathing this stuff for a very long time. But then also, I've literally thought of almost every conceivable way I could come up with to explain it in a way that even a child can understand. In fact, we actually have programs for children. So if you want your kids to get ahead and to be financially strong in the future, feel free to check out our kids program. It's at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Let's see here. Blessings, brother. I'm the owner of Trap House Chicken here in Minnesota. I created a title called Taco Puffs. All right, Trap House Chicken. I like that name. That's a cool name. Good morning, food for thought. Some will get we'll get this right now, and some will get the 6 a.m. tomorrow. But on another note, everybody have a wonderful day. All right, you have a wonderful day too, my friend. You have to watch The Company for Real. Is that a movie? Please pin the info for the stock market class. I can't pin it on Instagram. I got big thumbs. If I start trying to text something to y'all, you'll just disappear and I'll delete you from the screen by accident. So if somebody could type in the URL for me, I'd appreciate it. It's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. That's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. Financial Juneteenth University has been my mecca. All right. That's one of the free classes we have in the Black Business School, so feel free to check that out. Of course, I have 2 stock cards. I don't know what to do with them. Stock cards. I don't know what that means exactly. Can you please state all of your websites? The blackstockmarketprogram.com is a good place to start. That's the one that has the stock market investing class. Let's see here. How do you feel about business funding programs? Well, one of the things that I've mentioned recently is when I was asked by someone that was connected to Kamala Harris, like they were sort of like, okay, what do you want from the presidential candidates? I said, I think that it's a damn shame that we have a country where a young Black kid can get $100,000, in debt to go to college, to go to a big white university. It's going to take all their wealth. but they can't get $20,000 for a small business loan. So I said, if you really want to help the Black community, don't create more jobs, don't give them more student loan debt, give them opportunities to either get funding for businesses, either through grants or loans or seed capital, so that they can start their businesses and get their businesses off the ground. And then also, if they really wanted to be really creative and really supportive, and I would love to help them with this, if they wanted me to be a part of this, is, create some business incubators all throughout the country. Just rent out, like if you rented out, 100 spaces all throughout the United States, for like, let's say, you were leasing them for less than $10,000 a month, really like mass educate like tens of thousands of Black business owners every year. Like literally, and this was my dream for the Black Business School. It's still my dream. I still love to do this, but I would love to have like these Black economic places, like almost like churches that we could all go to, and you send your children, and everybody that goes through there knows how to start a business by the time they're done. I believe every Black child in America should know how to start a business by the age of 12. Every Black child in America should know how to invest in the stock market. Every Black child in America should know the basics of owning a home. That would lead to probably a $5 to $10 trillion wealth transfer in one generation. Because the thing about wealth is that wealth is this scary game where smart people win and unprepared people lose. People that have the training do better than the people that don't have the training. That's why you have these, fat cats on Wall Street. Some of them were born poor. Not all of them were born rich. Some of them were born poor, who have figured out how to get, $10 million in the bank account. And the thing is, you can say all you want about structural inequality and all that stuff, but you can't start talking about structural inequality if we as a community haven't even, been able to learn the basics on what it takes to build wealth, right? If we haven't even learned the basics, like it's almost like if somebody puts me in the Dallas Cowboys uniform and they put me on a football field, and the Washington Redskins are my opponent, and they're scoring touchdown after touchdown. Every time they get the ball, they're scoring on me. I can't tackle them. I can't move the ball 2 yards. I don't know what to do. And I say, well, the reason that the Redskins are winning is because they're cheating. They were using their referees. We're playing in their home stadium, all this other stuff. But really, at the end of the day, why are they singing? So anyway, at the end of the day, somebody could come along and say, yeah, that's true, Boyce. But, did you do any weight training in the off season? Did you do any game preparation? Did you study any X's and O's to get ready for the game? Did you put together a game plan to try to win this game? Did you do any practice? Have you had any football practices in the last 6 months, right? Somebody could ask me all those questions and they could say, we could unrig the entire game. We could change everything about this game, but you're going to still lose the game because you're not prepared. You're going to lose the game because you did not choose to get ready. You can put everything you want on the structural factors if you want, but at the end of the day, if you're not prepared, you're always going to lose the game. And so the thing that Black people have to understand is that, we know that racism is real. We know the structural factors exist. We know that oppression has been in existence. We know all of these things. But if we never learn, or if we never prepare for the game, if we never give ourselves the basic skills, then we will always lose the game. White people could tomorrow pay $1 trillion in reparations, change all the rules and all the laws, and there are still some of us who are always going to lose the game because they're not prepared to play the game and they were never trained on the game. So what I'm saying to you as Black people is train yourselves on the game. Train your children on the game. It's 3 basic areas: stock and bond investing, real estate investing, and entrepreneurship. Make sure your children are trained on those 3 areas. That's going to put them light years ahead of everybody, not just Black people, but everybody. Okay. So anyway, they're making a lot of noise downstairs. So it's making it hard for me to focus and concentrate. Let me see, Dr. B, you have a legal program specifically geared toward small businesses. Yeah, if you go to, we actually do have a law school for non-lawyers in the Black Business School. We have attorneys that teach in that program. You could go to theblacklegalprogram.com. That's theblacklegalprogram.com. So feel free to go check that out. They meet every single week and it's very, very good. So we even have one for children too, if you're interested in getting your kids involved. So I'm out of here, guys. So take care. Please hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the share button, subscribe button, all the good stuff. Also, if you want to know, again, the stock market class, which actually for a limited time is discounted right now. So feel free to go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com. That's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. All right, so I'm out of here, guys. I'm going to hang up now, and I will see you later. Take care. Have a good day.